Alright. Hello. Hopefully I'm back now. This was unexpected, definitely. So apparently when you open phone mirroring, it can crash your PC completely, which is interesting finding. Good to know, but definitely not what I wanted. So okay, let's see if I can cast using this mirroring application that I have installed. Hopefully yes. Yes. Okay, start now. Okay, let's see. Yeah, good. So this is this phone screen. It's not really ideal because it's very narrow, but maybe I can resize it somehow. Yes. No. Rotate. That's not the rotation I want. Yeah, it doesn't really cooperate with Surface Duo kind of devices, but what I can do is to just drop it to one screen and then it will not work anyway, apparently. Well, let's see. It's gonna be like this, but I think that's more than manageable. Why I see? Oh gosh, some kind of upgrade. I do have the application installed, but well, let's see. Can I log in somewhere? Log in. Yes, I have it already, so let's see. Okay, let's see. Maybe it's gonna work. Okay, good. So seems it accepted my license, so this screen mirroring should be working at least for now. So I guess we can use that as a backup, even though I don't really like the fact that PhoneLink is crashing my PC. That's not really what I would like. Anyways, let's go back to my Visual Studio and let's get started at least a little bit. So there we go. Let's see if I have the right target, which should be Android. Yes, I do. So let's go to the Android solution. Yes. Okay, so what I will do first, I guess, it's that I just completely built the application because I want to see how it behaves right now. So let's wait for Visual Studio to load completely, and I will rebuild or launch the application here. And I don't want to run it on an emulator because that's not useful at all. I want to run it directly on the device. Good. Okay, I hope the stream is working again. Let's see, I will just verify that. Yeah, it seems it is. That's good. All right, so Let's go to application activity on Android, and there we have our current form of keyboard handling code. So the thing is, I think, if I remember correctly, it was not even getting to this point because all the key events were handled by our existing keyboard handling code, which is directly generated on UI element or framework element. So what is the complaining about? Yeah, formatting. I think that's just this. And here, yeah, it's good. So formatting. This is just probably like temporary code, so nothing too crucial. And I think that I will need to build this one, and then I can launch the application. So what I noticed outside of the live coding last time is that in UI XAML framework element somewhere here, I think this one, there was some kind of keyboard handling. Yes, so there is key event handlers, native key press registration, and there what we have is we are handling the key press directly on the framework element itself, which is not wrong. It's just that it was currently eating up all the key presses that I was trying to use. So instead I will have to remove these and implement them manually, I guess. So especially this part, because that one is now eating up all the events that we want to implement. So let's wait for the application to run on the Surface Duo. And when it does, we will be able to see if we're getting somewhere even now. But I guess the problem last time was that we weren't hitting this dispatch key event method at all, because it was all handled on the framework element itself. So I'll prepare this screen sharing, which is nice. Okay. Now, the good thing is that this screen sharing does not crash my PC, so that's a big progress. All right, so the application is starting up. I will put it maybe on both screens so it's more visible. And what I want to try out first, oh, come on. I want to try out first is that I will put focus on some element. Like a button. And now that it has focus, it should be possible to press a key now. And what I did now, I was pressing enter key on the keyboard, which was registered, which is nice, but it wasn't, or let's see. I will press it again. I got here, the key code is enter. And what happens then? So let's get out of this. Right. Okay. So we're entering this. So, and now raising key down on a core window. Okay, now on the focused element. So the focused element should be the button, which it is. And we should be now able to raise the key down event on it. So let's see. Raise event. It is a key event, that's correct. Okay. So level see, let's see if we can get into button base maybe? Button base. There should be a keyboard handling code inside of button base. So key down. We should be able to get here. But we did not. So something prevented us from raising that event. Right. So again, let's continue through this. So if we go here. Okay, it just stops. Okay, here. So here we go. Context mode has flag. Ignore element is false. Pointer pressed, pointer released, pointer moved, pointer entered. So those should be all the events that are registered. And the key down is not among them for some reason. Why is that? Why is it not there? So this will be the first big problem that we need to resolve somehow. And I can see that quite clearly here that this key down event is actually not called from anywhere, which is odd. Why is it not called from anywhere? That would be very, very annoying oversight. But it's really not. Key process. So this is called from key down internal. But yes, so this is on key down. Oh, I was maybe looking into the wrong place because this on key down is some kind of dead code that is no longer needed, I think. Okay, so maybe let's actually remove this because it's no longer valid. All of the actual code that is used is in the button base max class, which is actually fully ported button base from WinUI. So it's completely the same code as WinUI is using, which is great because it has all the same features and all the same behavior that button should have on Windows. So now let's try this again and see if we can get here, but I'm guessing not still because we didn't, it was just skipping the processing there. So there should be something else still. And one thing that might help us debug this is to look into the source generator that is responsible for routed events. Because there's a source generator which is going through the elements and then checking which of the routed events are overridden, and those are then registered for routed event handling. So in this case, it should be checking on key down and on key up. So the event should be there. we need to see if it actually happened and it was registered properly. So let's wait for it to build. Whoa, what are you complaining about? That is some apt error. Should be just I've seen this before, but it's happening kind of randomly, and it's probably something to do with the sample application itself. So I will just rebuild. Maybe it's gonna help. But anyway, implemented events. We want to see. We would like to see if it was actually noticed that there is an override for the keyboard on key down event. So that is the first thing that we need to check. Okay. Close the emulator for now. Okay, so the build seems to be processing okay, but I'm definitely most interested in the keyboard handling itself. So, okay, this is now finished. So I will run it on the Surface Duo, which is now apparently not valid. So let's see, unplug it. Let's run it. Hopefully now. Okay. Let's see. So when I run it, I will again focus a button and then go right away to press the enter button, so we can see if it gets to the key down or not. And if not, we'll continue debugging this. So, where are we? Yeah, good. So, the application is starting up again with much flair. And I will go to buttons. So, I have the button and pressing enter. So now it's raising the event, and as you can see, it doesn't go to the handler on the button. So let's see what happens here. So this is the culprit, I think, because we don't have the ignore element flag, which is okay. The internal is false, and the problem is that the event handlers don't contain the event itself, which means that it's not being registered, or it's not registered properly. So what I will probably do I need to find the places where it's actually being utilized. Insert handler and add handler. So I will put this here just to see when the application starts up, when the handlers and through which path they are being registered there. I actually saw this before, but I don't remember it properly anymore, so it's definitely worth checking again. So here, add handler, this is explicit one, but I even want to have something more implicit there. So this might be implicit, maybe. Pointer event, subscribe to overridden routed events. Nice. So here we go. This is, so here it should happen for the button, but does it? So it's actually button base. So content control. Okay, so this is happening. This is actually happening for button base. Initialize control. Subscribes to overridden routed events. And now get type in this case should be the button, because this get type is a button, right? Yes, it's a button. So we get implemented events for the button. And if we go through those, it contains key down. So it does contain key down. So we should be able to get there here. Okay, that's more. Okay, so key down, it is there. So we add it. Let's see, implementation of key down. Ah, okay. That's probably what we're facing here. So this is some generated code which creates key registration, but it's not. Yes, okay. So it's not really. It's basically registering to the native key press event, apparently. Yes, so it's registering to key press and then to some kind of key down handlers, which are probably raised when key press is done. So this whole thing needs to go away, because we need to go to the same path that pointers are going through. So I have framework element to mixins. Here we go. So this is for Android, and we need this one. And yeah, right, implementation is, yeah, let's search for this one. So what I'm saying here is take this whole thing, remove it. Probably all of that as well, but let's keep it for now. Oh no, let's be more drastic and just remove everything here. Goodbye. And let's go to framework. Let's do pointer pressed, which should be on UI element. Oh, key down is on framework element. Oh, hello. Hello, Dimitri. And hello, Dominic. Oh, actually, goodbye, Dominic. Apparently, you have some calls to attend to. Oh, you can watch the recording later on YouTube or Twitch or whatever. So let's see. Hello, MC Nuts. So let's go to framework element, documentation, and see. So no, key down and key up are not on framework element. They are probably on UI element. Then yes, key down, key up. So that's kind of interesting. Why did we have it on key on UI element, it's on framework element itself, I don't understand. But the event is there, and I think the implementation in framework mixins was overshadowing that event. So if I go to the changes, it was public event key up. Apparently not. Why did it? Key up, event handler. Okay, so there must be some trick to it. Because if it was generating in a framework element, I would expect it to be there should be a new event key, event handler, and so on. But there is none. Oh, let's run this. Let's see if this now goes to this add event handler. Okay. Oh, there is more? No. It's just references to key registration. Yes. Yes. Yes, good. So that should be enough. And what was it complaining about? Yes, because it just doesn't find these things. I'll have to probably rebuild because it will otherwise not run the TT generator. Can I run it here? Maybe. I'm not on Twitch. Well, it should be on Twitch, but apparently there is something wrong with the stream to Twitch. I'm not sure why, but I was trying to resolve it at the beginning, and apparently it still doesn't work. But it will show up after I stop the stream, for some reason. Let me just check one more thing here. So streams 2, okay, it's not relevant. Ah, maybe that's it. Okay, maybe the bitrate is too high for Twitch. Let's see. I will try to adjust it. Yes, so they recommend 4000. So maybe that's because it was just too high for Twitch to handle and it just bailed. So now I have set to 4000. We'll see if it drops or I will have to restart the stream, but maybe it will pick up on it. Okay, now it's 4000, so it's dropping. So maybe now it will start showing up there. Yes, that should be now fine. Let's see. I will check on Twitch. Yeah, I'm showing up live, but it's not showing the video. Yeah. Oh, still nothing, but... Well. Oh, okay, now it seems to be working. At least For a bit it was. So maybe it's gonna work. Maybe. Well, anyways. Okay. Anyways, let's go back to what I was doing here. So, well, if it's not there, it's gonna be next time. So, here we go. So this one needs to be later fixed because the key press in text box otherwise will not work. So we try to avoid this. And let's try to run this again. And now, hopefully, we will be able to hit the event handler. And if not, we'll continue debugging. So, let's focus on a button in the app and press enter. Oh, it's actually, it's not, it's still building. So let's wait. And I will in the meantime, I will just open Android TV docs. I want to understand how the Android TV remote is actually being handled. So let's see. Android TV. I need the developer documentation. Remote. So, well, was there some kind of content or get started? Yes. Okay. So in the basically Android TV handling should be mostly focus management, which is already supported in Uno platform. We just need to make sure it's working in response to the remote control buttons. So that's probably the tricky part there. So I'm now in the code back. So let's see. This is content root visual, content root. Okay, so now it should be not yet. Key down, split view, button base. Yes, so we are now on button base. So we will be soon on the key down event. So now let's go to the implementation, which is now at the right place. So we are entering the add handler here. And it should be added to handlers. Yes, so that's very good. So now it seems that it's being registered properly. So let's see if it also responds properly. So I will open the, okay, again, some kind of, what? This application is not really reliable, but at least it doesn't crash the PC, which is always good. A power. Try. Maybe now. What is that? Okay. Wireless connection. No. Receiver. Let's see. Maybe now. Let's see what happens. Connection timed out. Great. Okay, I will just kill this and try to run it again. Maybe it's gonna help. I'll show this again. No, I don't want to... Right, because it's interfering with the USB connection. But I want to stream by Wi-Fi. Oh. Damn it. Okay. Right. It's not really working well, is it? Let's see, I will try QR camera. QR code connection. Yeah. Okay, mouse. Okay. Everything is broken. Oh, that's not good. I'm not sure why, because I was connected before, but now it just does not cooperate anymore. Maybe it's just the USB cable is not good, but it should still at least work over Wi-Fi. So I don't understand why it does not. We are on the same network, so it doesn't really make sense. Cast. No. It's not really what I want. Oh. Well, anyway, let's ignore that. Let's just see if we... it's not really interesting anyway right now, because it's just pressing the button. So I'll press the enter key on the button, and now it's raising the event, and we're getting into on key down in the button base. So that's very good. If it works correctly, it should press the button, and now there should be a key up event that will unpress it. It's just actually happening. So I will remove the breakpoints, and let's see if I can do it reliably. Yes, so pressing the enter button on the keyboard is pressing the button inside of the application. And I can actually do tabbing between elements and then selection, which is good, which is very promising. Let's see if I can show it to you in emulator, because that could all actually work. It's just an emulator and it's just keyboard, so it shouldn't be big problem. Okay, let me prep it. Alright. Okay. So that would be a big hurdle overcome, because before what we were getting was that the key events were not raised on the UI elements because they were overridden by something in framework element. So it meant that the result was completely useless. And now it might be actually better. So let's see. So I select here buttons, buttons page. So I now focused a button by clicking on it. But if I press enter, it doesn't work here. Okay, so I need keyboard input, some kind of keyboard input here. No, external keyboard, virtual keyboard. Is there a way to attach a keyboard? Send keyboard events to virtual device? Maybe? No, doesn't seem so. Oh, keyboard shortcuts, okay. But there should be some kind of way to use external keyboard now. Well, doesn't seem so. Well, okay. In that case, I will not be able to show that, really. Well, anyway, it does work on the device, which is good. And if this application actually worked, I will be able to show it to you, but so far nothing. What does it mean, ADB conflict program? Yeah, I mean, it's probably that Visual Studio is connected, but I don't want to disconnect Visual Studio because I need to use it actually. So, and the local casting does not work again. Just one more try, but so for mirroring, nothing useful here. No. Mirroring settings, nothing useful there. So once more. I don't see why it's not seeing that device, because it's the same Wi-Fi. What I can try is to use a different Wi-Fi just to see if it helps for some reason, but I doubt it. No. So probably some kind of firewall issue or something along those lines. Well, I guess that's this is gonna fail. Well, let's see. I will try to do the cleanup thing, but it will probably break Visual Studio connection, so it's not really. Well, it doesn't even work. Okay, so this application is not that good. And it did work very well before, so I'm not sure what they did with that. But I will need a different one, apparently, and I will need especially to figure out why the phoning screen mirroring is not working. It was the best solution, of course, because it was built in. Well, anyway, let's go back to what we have here. And let's do something that doesn't require phone mirroring, and then I will next time come more prepared with this actually working. So let's actually try to create a Android emulator for Android TV, and we can maybe try at least the TV remote on that device. I will create this one. This should be okay, and create. The application is completely frozen now. Good. So yes, phone mirroring is a big problem which hasn't been resolved in computer engineering. So let's see. Android TV emulator. I will continue with the browsing here, because I'm pretty sure that all of those inputs from the TV controller or TV remote go through the same path as keyboard events. But the difference, I think it does kind of go within the similar path as the gamepads. So that would mean that you need to handle that properly as well, because the D-pad is the same thing as you have on Xbox controller, for example. So I think, but it's a guess only, that it will need the same kind of handling as the gamepad, or maybe actually it will currently hook up to the existing gamepad support in Uno platform. So we'll see. We'll see. So Android emulator starting up. Yes, here we have our beautiful TV screen and directional pad. So we can tap this to get the tab navigation. Right, okay, so let's wait for the application to be deployed. Even though I'm not sure if there is some kind of specific manifest that needs to be added for Android TV support, so maybe... Oh, but so far it's starting up. Nice. Alright, so we have the application, and we cannot actually navigate because, well, this is a touch TV apparently, so I can press things, which is useful for our case. So I've pressed the button. Yes, and then it's frozen on that. Yes, okay, so it has kind of different... yeah, okay, it's focusing the button somehow. But if I do this, it doesn't respond at all. So let's see what happens if I press the remote here. So we get a key event, and in this case it's D-pad right event. So it will trigger that event. Oh, okay. And it crashed our emulator. But anyways, it did get here. And this experimental keyboard focus is, I think, enabled in case of samples app. Yes, it is. So it should get here, and then we'll see what happens. Yes, yes, okay. So we are on the focus handling. And if I'm not wrong, we are going here. No, we're not. We're actually not. Oh, I closed the application probably. Okay, starting up. So let me go to the button page. Or actually, I have a better sample for this purpose. Focus. All right. Oh, right. I'm in this breakpoint now. Focus. It's quite unstable apparently. The emulator is crashing quite often. Not sure why. But let me start it again. And maybe I should start using the .NET 7 Android as the target instead of Mono Android, because it's not really properly supported anymore. But anyway, It shouldn't matter right now, so I do this and nothing happens. Why? So the focus handler, the action is key down. It crashes very quickly, so I don't even have a chance to handle it properly. Okay, so it goes here into tri-handle directional focus. And what I think in this case is that directional focus should be enabled manually for right. So I think this is the problem, because we are getting here and the directional focus is disabled. The question is, how does Uno, like UWP, handle this case? In case you have Xbox and you want to do focus management. Because if it requires XY, it requires the XY focus being enabled. And the question is if it enables that automatically, or you have to do something specific to enable it. XY focus in the direction. Ah, okay. So mouse mode is enabled by default for Windows apps running on disable mouse mode and enable XY focus. Okay, so on Xbox by default you have mouse mode, but you can enable requires pointer mode when requested. Yeah, you can set this to when requested, and in that case you enable XY focus navigation for the application itself. Which is interesting. So we get here, and the mode is auto, which is probably disabled in this case. Tri-directional focus. So let's see. Let's do it like this. Because currently it was specifically checking if it's disabled or enabled, and the auto was not handled at all. But I guess it should be. The auto is default, but it should be enabled on Android TV and similar devices which don't have proper keyboard where you could do tab and shift tab. Hello, Petro. So if you're on Twitch, can you tell me if the stream is now working on Twitch? Okay, so I'm guessing the reason why the application crashes anytime I'm doing these keyboard handling, debugging the keyboard handling, is that the system thinks that something has broken while handling the key, and it just kills the application itself. Because it's weird that it happens only when the key events are being processed, not before. So I'm pretty. It really seems that it's because it's just waiting for your. Oh, okay. It's good that the stream was working on Twitch, so that's good news. So here we go. Let's see. Let's press the button down, and now we're on directional support, direction focus enabled. Okay, so it's doing something. It's doing something. It's not. Well, is this working well? But the down one, it wasn't working well. But you can see that the focus is moving. Kind of unreliably, but it's working. So that is progress right there. Let's see if I find focus. And there should be some kind of focus test here. So this should be right. Right. So what I think is happening is there is some of the native focus interfering with the processing that is built into Uno, because it's kind of moving twice and sometimes not even. It's kind of random. Let's see if this works. So this, like tabbing is working well. Shift tabbing, set focus. So it's only the directional one which is kind of buggy. Okay, but let's see. If I set focus on, okay, now it's okay. Set focus on B1 and move it right. Okay, so it kind of jumps twice. Okay. That's interesting. It's kind of jumping twice and back. So let's see, in key down, in application activity, it doesn't really make sense that it would go left if I'm pressing right, but who knows? Let's try it. Now it goes left, of course, because I pressed left, but why did it jump left before? That's weird. So when I'm debugging it, it's reliable, and otherwise it does some weird. Okay, you see that? It jumped to the control. Well, it's I don't really understand what's happening here. It's kind of random. The question is, does it behave the same on some other target? Maybe that's worth checking out. But the good thing is that now it does respond to D-pad controls, which opens up the possibility to implement the focus navigation properly on Android TVs. And we also have the key event handling going directly to on key down and on key up events in UI element, which is also great. What I didn't test if these changes did break the textbox input somehow. So I have to try that as well, just quickly here. But the last thing I want to try is to verify if the focus navigation works properly in Skia or WebAssembly maybe, just to see if the problem that we are seeing is specifically on the side of Android, or if it's something that's general and needs to be fixed in a more general manner. The focus management code that's in Uno platform is basically the ported WinUI focus management handling, the same thing that you find on Windows and on Windows 11 itself. So it should be quite battle tested. So if it doesn't work here, then I guess that it. Okay, so this works. If it doesn't work, then I guess there is something really bad going on Android, but not in general. So, okay, so emulator, the text input still works, although it doesn't work with normal keyboard, it's only with the virtual keyboard. So I guess the changes were problematic for some reason, but we will debug that next time. That's probably fine. So I will close this for now, and let's go to here, and let's see. I will pick .NET 7, and I will open the Skia version of the application. So let's see what happens there. So GTK, that is fine. So you can see there's a lot of Tizen related errors showing up, and that's because the Tizen support in Uno right now is not really in good shape, and it's especially because the old Tizen support in Skia Sharp was using some kind of well, Tizen has two different UI frameworks. One is kind of low level, and it does not have many features directly offered, so you have to implement a lot of things yourself. And there is another one which is more advanced and has more of like the classic touch support and keyboard support and all of that built in. And the current version that we supported was for the older, more like low-level UI framework, which was harder to kind of implement. So especially the input, like pointer input and touch input, was very problematic. But the good thing is that Skia Sharp now supports the newer framework, the more high level, and for this one we can actually implement support for Uno platform as well. So I have actually already a in progress pull request, which is not really like yet far yet. It's just started, but it will bring Tizen back in full strength, and actually it's gonna be using .NET 7 version of Tizen, so the latest and greatest. And yeah, you can see that some changes already done, but most of the things that were there, like key event handling and like these Windows things, it's now completely different because it's using the different framework. So yeah, you can see NUI was the previous one. No, the old one was in Tizen. Now the new NUI version of Skia Sharp Canvas and everything there is here. So hopefully I will get to this soon. Maybe I will actually do it on one of the live coding sessions because it's gonna be fun. So let's see this. All right, I've broken this. Okay, right, go left. This is much more reliable than before. So let's see, if I go right and go left, you can see there is no jumping back and forth between those elements. So it's clearly something that's specifically broken on Android, not in general. So that's actually a good thing, because Tizen is, Android is what we're after in this case. But apparently this works, so the reason the focus is jumping there might do with some kind of native focus management, which is still supported in some way. Let me just actually search that focus manager Android. There should be a focus native, which is focusing a specific element. But I thought that we were not really following the native focus. So I'm not completely sure why it's happening, but it's something that we can look into next time in more detail. And yes, I think that's gonna be it for today, because I had more technical issues than I expected, so I didn't get too far. But next time I will hopefully have the working screen mirroring from the phone, which will make it much more interesting and much more useful. And the goal will be to figure out why this focus management XY navigation does not work, because that's kind of crucial. Figure out how we can properly support the auto XY navigation enabling, because currently it's set to auto, which means that it would now do the XY navigation automatically also on the PC, which we don't want. We want it only on the TV or Xbox. So that's something that we need to resolve. And then, of course, seeing what the keyboard handling on Android requires next, because we have just the key down and key up event, which is important, but it's not complete. We need also the preview key down and preview key up. And we also need to see how the virtual keyboard ties into all of this, because the virtual keyboard on Android goes through a completely different key event handling path. So we need to figure out how that works and then what to do to actually get it working in the same kind of manner and to go through the same kind of events. So a lot of things to do, but hopefully the live coding sessions will now be more regular on Mondays. I have set up a schedule on Twitch, so hopefully I will be able to follow it at least mostly. So yeah, I will see you in the next live coding session. In the meantime, keep coding, have a great week ahead, and I will see you next Monday. Bye bye.